All right, guys, we're going to be looking at systems of linear equations today and solving them with elimination. So on the right-hand side, you'll see some generic steps, and on the left-hand side, you're going to see two equations. So the first thing we do is we line up terms by variables. So you'll notice stacked. We have these x's, these y's, and these numbers. Okay, and they are stacked upon each other because we're going to add them together in the long run, but not right now, because step 2 is look for inverse or opposite coefficients. Right now, you'll notice the coefficients, if you remember, are attached to the x's and the y's. You will notice that negative 22 and 22 are opposites of each other, but they're not coefficients because they're not attached to x's or y's for our variables. So since we don't see any opposite coefficients, we are going to have to make them. We're going to jump down to step number 3, which says make opposite coefficients by multiplication. So I'm going to ask myself, can I make that 2 look like that 10 and make it the opposite? Well, we can do that. If I multiply 2 by -5, that will give me a -10, and I will be able to cancel with that positive 10x. But what we do to one side, of course, we are going to do to the other side. So now check it out. I'm going to distribute that -5 into both of those. So that gives me -5 times 2, which is -10x. -5 times 5 is -25y, equals to -22 times -5, which is 110. And then once I've done that, I'm going to now just write the second equation as it was, or as it is, directly underneath. Based off of what we saw in step number 2 as look for inverse opposite coefficients. So look for the inverse or the opposite coefficients. We have made that happen. -10x and positive 10x are inverses, or they're opposite of each other. And because of that, we can now step down to step number 4, which is eliminate and solve. So elimination, in order to do this, we are going to add the two equations together. So -10x plus 10x cancels, becoming a 0. -25y and 3y, when we add those together, will become -22y. And then we get 110 plus 22, which is 132. Now, once we're here, we just take that -22 and we just solve. This is basic solving at its best. Okay, -22 cancels, y comes out. And we say, what is 132 divided by -22? Well, that is -6. Now, one of the things we have to remember is our solutions to systems of linear equations are going to be coordinate points. So we have a y, and now we need to find the x. So the y is -6. In order to find the x, I'm going to plug it into one of the equations. So 10x, I will just plug it into the second one, plus 3 times -6 equals to 22. And from here, we just solve. So 10x, 3 times -6 is -18, equals to 22. I'm going to add the 18 over. That is going to bring us to 10x equals to 40. 22 plus 18 is 40. And then I'm going to divide by 10. And when I divide by 10, x comes out, and that gives us the answer 4. So our solution should be 4, -6. Now, to be 100%, I'm going to take, we've done this algebraically, and that's going to be required, I'm sure, by many of your teachers, especially myself. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to Desmos, and I'm going to check that. So I do type it in, 2x plus 5 equals -22. I bring in the other one, 10x plus 3y equals 22. And I'm going to look for where they intersect, and you'll notice that it is 4 and -6. And that is exactly what we got. Yes. So that shows how to do systems of linear equations algebraically. And of course, we always check using Desmos.